Title of my paper, which I am going to present here, is Approaching Shaivism Through Advaitic Values, a study in the light of Srinarayana Guru's Tevara Padigangal. I am directly entering to the topic. Tevara Padigangal is a work consisting of 50 hymns composed in ancient Tamil by Srinarayana Guru. Tevarams are hymns composed by the Tamil Siddhas to praise the gods, which means Jabadhyana. Jabadhyana is considered as one of the means for attaining the ultimate truth, moksha. The work is divided into 5 padigas consisting of 10 hymns. The term padigas means a song consisting of 10 hymns. This is why the work has been named as Tevara Padigangal. Tevara Padigangal has the same standard of the Tevarams as the ancient Tamil Siddhas of Tirujnana Sambandar, Sundarar and Appar. What Guru actually did was to codify the ideas of Sanskrit Vedas and the Dravidian Vedas, which advocate unity in Trinity and unity in diversity. He gave a title to the first Padiga as Nayanar Padiga. Guru composed Tevara Padigangal in praise of a Nayanar deity in Neyatinkara, Thiruvananthapuram district of Kerala. This is the reason for giving such a title to the first Padiga, but there is no title given to the other 4 Padigas because they may have been written sometime later. Through the first hymn from the first Padiga, Nayanar Padiga, Guru describes the features of Lord Shiva's powerful form. Jnanodayame Jnaduruve Namadila Narkadiye Yano Niyo Yadipuram Yadai Vidumo Pejaye Tenar Dillai Chiradiar Tedum Nada Marumanur Kone Maner Miripagam Kondai Nayanar Nayagame. I am not familiar with Tamil language. Apologize if I have mispronounced it. With the first epithet Jnanodayame, he enters the first steps of Advaita thought that Shiva can be known only through enlightenment. According to the Advaita philosophy, moksha or salvation is achieved through wisdom. Jnana, Devadu, Kaivalyam, yoga, bhakti, etc. Are all means to get this wisdom. This is why it is addressed as Jnanodayame. Through enlightenment, only the knower or consciousness who knows and experiences all things will prove to be true, and none but the knower can experience his own existence and the existence of others. The Nayanar deity itself proves that Arumanur was once a land of truth seekers. The last part of the song shows that Nayanar is indeed Shiva. It is also revealed from the very beginning that Shiva is the symbol of Brahman. In the third hymn of the same Padiga, Guru tries to express the essence of Brahman and Advaita. He describes the universe as a forest in the sky. One should find self-truth without immersing in it. Through this, one can feel the body and soul are one. It will be realized that everything is the same as Parabrahman, who is Nayanar, the deity of Arumanur. This is the Advaita experience or salvation. In this way, Guru is approaching Shiva through Advaita perspective. After establishing that these two are not mutually exclusive, through the first stanza, Guru explains how to approach Shaivism through Advaita by describing the technicalities of Shaivism and Advaita through the subsequent stanzas. The second Padiga focuses on description of Shiva's form. Shiva is often depicted three-eyed, the Ganges flowing through his matted hair, wearing ornaments of serpents and a skull garland covered in ashes, and seated on a tiger skin. Guru's devotion to Shiva can be clearly seen in the first hymn, which begins by describing this form of Shiva. എങ്കും നിറൈന്തെതിരിറ്റുമായതവിരിൻ പുറു ചിർച്ചുടരെ പൊങ്കും പവക്കടലിർപ്പടിയാതെ പഠിക്കുന്നരുൾ പുരിവായി തിങ്കൾ തിരുമുടി ചുറ്റിക്കഴുന്തിവ്യ തേജോമയാനന്ദമേ തങ്കക്കൊടിയെ നന്മൈതടുത്താൾ കൊൾവായി നീ കരുണാനിധിയെ. He tries to attain salvation by telling the powers of Shiva one by one. It is already indicated that Shiva has been adopted as a symbol of Brahman, and here Guru is trying to conquer Maya through Shiva. His desire to get rid of ignorance or ajnana can also be seen in this Padika. The entire third Padika is based on Vedantic thought. It starts with the description of Omkara Mantra. Guru's description of Omkara is similar to the description in Mandukya Upanishad that is considered as the essence of Vedantic thought. In the first two verses, he describes the speciality of Omkara and prays for its attainment. ഓമിതിയിൽ നിൽക്കും പൊരുൾ നീതാനുലകെങ്കും താമാകി വളർന്നോങ്ങിയ ചാമാനിയ തേവേ വിയോമാന പൂനിരോലിയോടി വിളക്കോടാമതനു വാരായി നമുക്കായമിതമേ. And the third hymn, എല്ലാ ഉയിരും നിന്നുരുവല്ല എല്ലാ ഉടലും നീ എല്ലാ ഉലകും നിൻ കളിയല്ലാതവനില്ലേ കൊല്ലാതവനെല്ലാം പൊടി ചെയ്താണ്ടൊരുൾ പൂവിറ് പല്ലാരുയിരാളും പരദേവേ ചുരകോവേ. Which has similar meanings to Vedantic verses such as Sarvam Khalidam Brahma and Ishavasyam Idam Sarvam, etc. This expands the essence of the third Padika. The fourth Padika begins with the descriptions of Tribudi. The same object of consciousness is divided into three parts, namely Darshana, the observation, Drikka, the observer, and Drishya, the observed. This is Tribudi Beda. Maya manifests it as divided into three. This transformation of Tribudi Beda is the realization of pure consciousness. With the advent of universal intelligence, illusions are removed and absolute experience become possible. According to Guru, Nilakanta, who has attained this oneness, is his clan god. In the following hymns, he gives descriptions of the realization of Brahma in Nirvikalpaka Samadhi. He says that the entire universe, which is in different forms, sees in this state. Muppatti mukkodi ettu, mummurtigal pedamattu, karpidattuida piri panjamam, kanar kamalamattu, mupparalattu, മുപ്പാഴറ്റു മുത്തികൾ മൂன்റുമറ്റു മുർപ്പടും മൂക്കട് കരുമണി കോരൻ കുലദൈവമേ. Guru is trying to convey the state of mind as described in the Mandukya Upanishad through the hymns of this Padika. In the fifth Padika, the technicalities of Advaita philosophy are explained in more detail. He described the form of Brahman, the consciousness of duality, Brahman and creation, the cause-effect relationship, and impermanence of the material body. Through these subjects, Guru wishes to merge with Shiva, who is also the Brahman, the absolute truth. I am concluding my words. Tevara Padikangal reveal Guru's philosophical wisdom and his devotion to Shiva through it. It can also be considered as an advantage that the reading of this text will bring out information about various aspects of Advaita philosophy, along with placing the deity of one's choice. These hymns convey messages of universal love, tolerance, and harmony among people, irrespective of caste or creed. It also encourages self-reflection and moral values and a path forwards a spiritually fulfilling life. Thank you all.